Oh my goodness gracious, I'm making a video again. Ignore the last video that I made. That video turns out to be wrong. Shoot. The Endless One Zero shader video, that, if anybody watched that, because I make the most frequent content and the best content, of course. Anyways, that video regarding that, trying to think. Yes, so I went over how shaders in that game kind of work, except that was kind of completely wrong. I mean, not entirely wrong, that's pretty close, but I got some things wrong with that, and I want to maybe remake that when I get back to the project, but I got my hands on the source code. Not the source code, sorry, no. Wrong phrasing. I got access to the decompiled shader, or the compiled shader, compiled. But yeah, the compiled shader from the game, um, from a very helpful person that's been very cool and very, I guess, helpful with uh, getting files from the game. I've been able to get most of them myself, but there are some I were not able to get for some reason. But yeah, they are super helpful, and I got access to the compiled code. And yeah, I looked through that and I started remaking my shaders based upon that code, and it's looking much better now, and it's really cool. It's just a bit of a pain kind of going through compiling sometimes because none of the variables are named. It's kind of things are all over the place, but that's just it's compiled code, so that's what you gotta work with. Um, Anyways, I'm rambling too much. I've been rambling for a minute and a half. Anyways, in this video, or what I want to talk about is, I guess, something I've been thinking about making a video on a while now, but haven't really done that, which is basically um, I guess, yeah, I guess I'll start from the beginning, or I guess where we're gonna start. So like, we're gonna start off with this avatar. Maybe some people have seen this before, but yeah, we're gonna start with this one, and then we're gonna end up with what I have today, and such. And yeah, and kind of the progression through all the different versions of it, and like how we go from this all the way up to, where are you? Oh, we're all the way. Yeah. Oh, nope, wrong one. Here we go to this, and also another one that I'm currently working on right now. Kind of the progression of things and like and the small changes I did per each individual version. Uh, Anyways, let's get back to this one. Oh, darn it, I gotta scroll all the way back down. Darn it. There we go. Cool. Alright, so the reason why I thought this one was really cool, I'm not really a fan of that very much. And some other aspects of this, but what I thought was really cool about this, or very silly, was, what was it? I don't remember what this was. What this happened? Facial. Sleep, heart, mysterious, panic? He's just fun. Okay. Um, where are you? I haven't actually opened this up in a face. Yes! Here we go. This. It's glorious. It's wonderful. Oh my goodness gracious. It's beautiful. Look at this wonderful face. Oh, it's perfect. It's wonderful. It's so expressive. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Anyways, that's why I first got very interested in this after, because of this amazing vase. And it's wonderful. I love it so much. It's perfect. Anyways, so yeah, I did that, and then I started working on remaking it and like making my own changes to it. I gotta figure out where we are, and here it is. So here's the first version I did of this. It's gonna tell me when I uploaded it. Maybe that's when I updated it. Maybe that is when I uploaded it. Okay, I guess I started working on this. It doesn't sound right though. I feel like it was earlier. Uh, Last updated. Okay, yeah, that's not right. Um, but yeah, I probably started working around this in like 2022 or so, like mid 2022 sounds about right. And yeah, so let's turn it into this and let's just go over kind of the things that are different about it. So let's see here. Yeah, so first thing that I did with this is that first off, I changed the colors and such and redid the textures a bit. And to be more, I guess, maid-like per se. Just kind of like, I was like, okay, sure, I'll go with this. I'll change it to how I would like more. Made this smaller, still very much, still quite a bit, still a lot, visible and such, which is fine. It's not that big of a problem. I started, I guess, okay, let's see here. I'm trying to think. It's been a few years. Um, okay, I know where to start. So, I like to remake models and see like what I can make better about them, fix things up, and make them more optimized. I don't think this one's optimized. I don't think I cared about that with this one. Let's take a look here. Information. Yeah, very poor. Let's see why. Very poor. Skin mesh renderers. Okay, so from the looks of it, I just uploaded this almost not as is, but just kind of, I guess, what is it? yeah, I took it, made some small changes, and uploaded it. I did not do much to this at all, as you can see. Um, yeah. And so, but the small things I did do is that I read some of the textures, mainly the dress, as you can see, but it's very flat. Like, it still has some of that detail here, like the shading here, and all that, and like even some of the subtle shading here in the clothes as well. It's nice and such. I mainly right. Okay, here's something to talk about. Um, a lot of toon avatars, they rely on matte caps for doing stylized reflections and lighting, or cube maps too, either or, because there's something that doesn't change. They can be very stylized and they may make things look very nice if used properly. However, they don't fit into the environment because again, they don't represent the lighting of the environment very well unless you have them set up very well. But they're very good for doing stylized things and making, I don't know, very good for stylization. But if you want things to properly fit into the environment, well, then you might want to use the cube map or the reflection probe from the scene. And so with this, I started to do that a little bit. I really like doing things. I like things when things accurately represent the lighting around them. I'm not saying you can't do that for cube maps and matte caps. It's just not as accurate. But with this, I started doing that, and the first things I did, well, actually, okay, first off, I kept the matte cap on here. I'm pretty sure I did, because you see here the specular highlight follows wherever I go. So I kept the matte cap on here. Same for the shoes as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it looks like it. And then for the bows, though, for the bows in this, I did not use matte caps. Instead, what I did is I actually did specular highlights and some reflections. So kind of like a standard shader thing mixed with some toon. I believe this is a very old shader of mine for doing this. I also believe the hair uses a matte cap as well. Yeah, you can see it very slight there and there when I move the head up and down. So yeah, hair uses a matte cap, and the leggings use a matte cap. They don't do any actual reflections or anything, it's just a matte cap. However, this is actual specular highlights based upon the indirect lighting, or getting the average direction of the indirect lighting from the not the reflection probe, the light probes, and making a specular highlight from that. However, there's a slight problem. Well, you're not going to see the problem here, but since this is a toon model, or the original one was a toon model and the lighting's all flat, they didn't have details like this, for example, like the little reflections here on the buttons, which I think is a nice little touch that I added in. They didn't have things like that, but if they did try to add something like that, it wouldn't work very well. Let's go here. If I were to try to do that, let's just go back here. This is a little bit, I guess, preview for what's to come, and I guess something else too. We'll get to that. So let's go to the body. Let's go here. Let's just set the normal to 0. It would look something like this. Oh, come on, let's get the right angle here so we can actually get it. There you go. It would look something like this. And that's because this wasn't made for lighting. It wasn't meant for that. So if you did try, it looks something like this because the normals aren't properly done for that. I mean, it's not that properly done. They're fine. It's just kind of the results you get without, I guess, if you're trying to, yeah, you can't do like smoothness or reflections or anything with normals that aren't quite meant for that per se. You can get weird results like this. So I redid the buttons. I baked a normal map for them that corrects for that, and it looks really nice. It looks perfect, and I still use the same baked normal for these buttons since then because it just turned out really well. And like in here, let's just hide this. I believe. Oh, I have to turn all this on? No, we're all good. I believe we should still have the buttons right here. Ribbon, low, high, cover, baking. Yes, here we go. Let's turn this on. Oh, come on, you got this. You got this. Yeah, here we go. Here are the original buttons from when I originally baked them. Let's just hide this. You see these are the low poly ones right here, and underneath them is the high poly ones. Not the greatest topology. It could definitely be better. I even used like no, these aren't hard edges. It's just bevel, I'm guessing. Let's see what I did here. Subdivision, weighted normal. Oh, okay, so I use weighted normal to smooth this out more. But yeah, this is the high poly, and then I baked that onto the low poly, and to fix the normals so it looks nice with using more PBR like, I guess, shading. And look at that. It's nice. It's so pretty. But anyways, yeah, so that's one of the first things I did with this, was just doing this and trying to add in, I guess, more PBR to it so it reflects the lighting a bit better. I always think it's really cool trying to blend PBR aspects and also toon-like things together. However, it's a bit difficult because those styles can very much clash if not done well. But yeah, so this turned out quite well. I was quite happy with it. Something else too that I forgot to mention, there's a toon outline on here. I think toon outlines can be really good for some models, but also not the greatest. I'm not saying, or it depends on the style you want to go for. I feel like for toon PBR lighting, if you're trying to achieve that, outlines aren't the greatest thing, or at least that's my own personal preference. But on this one, I have it because I didn't think too much of that. I was like, oh, the original has it, I'll just add it on there and such. But yeah, and then let's get on to the. Oh, right, this one also, again, it has the face, of course. It's wonderful, it's amazing. Yeah, it's great. However, something to note from this point forward, I completely forgot about this face. I forgot it even existed. And so all the future ones, this face isn't here, and that's the reason why I got this in the first place, because the amazing face, and then I never proceeded to use it. Anyways, I still thought this was still pretty cool, and I kept using it, and I thought it was cool. However, I was like, I want to cover things up more. I'm pretty sure in the next one, let's just take a quick little peek really quickly. No? Okay, let's see here. What did I change about this one? Come on, you can load. You got this. Oh, it's medium 2. Ooh. More optimization. Come on, you got this. There we go. So, okay. Yeah, so let's move on to this one now. So, no. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Okay, so let's move on to this one. So, with this one, it's a bit interesting, I believe. Yes, okay. So this one is when I started to do, I guess, try to push the PPR even more. So, yeah. So for the leggings and the shoes, everything here is PBR. It's basically using Unity standard shader, but with toon lighting mixed in. That's the way I can show the shaders later. But yeah, basically just doing that and just seeing how much further I can push it, and just touching things up, making things look get a more soft, more nice. It's pretty cool. And again, no more matte caps. We just use the actual reflections from the scene. And I don't think this has LCCGI support because it's pretty old before this was really a thing. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so with this one, let's see here. So the chest seems to be about the same size. Yeah, I don't think it might be a bit smaller. No, it's the same. Okay, I'll get into that later. But yeah, so for this one, I basically touched up the materials. No more toon outline because I thought it didn't quite work that well. The hair does not use a matte cap. Instead, this actually uses anastrophic reflections instead of a matte cap. Because usually people use matte caps to recreate anastrophic reflections. If you don't know what anastrophic reflections, let me just show you what they are really quickly. I should have you here. Oh, come on. You know what? I know what to pull out. Here we go. Crash dummy. You should have it. Right? Yeah, here we go. So you don't know what anastrophic reflections are. Just turn this on. There we go. So they are these right here. They're these kinds of reflections that kind of look like the ones you see on the bottom of a pan. Like that. They're mainly used for hair, but also like on different surfaces too. Like maybe for some screws and such, or some fancy stuff. But yeah, they're kind of circular reflections. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, so I want to do that for the hair, because again, I want to try and create a more, back up here at the top. Okay, here we go. I like it. I like trying to use, I guess, blending together toon stuff with PBR stuff and seeing how far I can push that. And so for the hair, instead of using matte caps, I used to switch over to anastrophic reflections, so it would more accurately reflect the lighting in the scene, and it looks really nice. It looks very smooth. I'm very happy with it. It's very nice. Yeah, and this is still about the same, just kind of cleaned up a bit more. You see like there's a bit more depth now to this. It actually has some like specular, actually has the reflection probes on here a little bit as well. It's got a little bit more, I guess, of a sheen look to it. It looks a bit more softer, a bit more depth. It's pretty nice, pretty cool. And yeah, it's just more polished per se. Something to note is that if I zoom in here, I only corrected the normals on here, or made normal maps for these. However, if I go up closer, you can see a bit of the jaggedness right here of this. Yeah, we'll go over that more later, but yeah, and also here on the ribbons as well. It's very sharp and jagged, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, I don't know, it's something that could be improved upon. So, let's see here. So let's go on to the next one. Also, you can see here that this one, it doesn't have the, let's see. Oh, right, okay, cool. So, right, you'll see that this gun on and off, ear anesio, that's for turning on and off anastrophic reflections for the ears, just to see if to test it. Squish sensitivity, low, high, right, this is for another avatar that I did of this with a different outfit that had a weapon, and they both shared the same FX and menus. That's why this one has it, but it doesn't do anything. It just exists. But, yeah. However, during this time, when I was remaking this, I actually got face tracking, so I implemented that into this. So basically, this might be a little bit weird, but I have them on regular puppets as, let me see here. Right. When you're syncing parameters over VRChat's network, they aren't really smooth per se, unless you have them open in a radial puppet. And it has the best type of sync that you can have. I believe VRChat calls it IK sync. It's very nice, super cool. It's the best way for, let's just open this up really quickly. Index, yep, let's go to VRChat parameter sync. Here we go. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Go here. Come on, come on, come on. Sync types. Here goes. You have speech, playable, IK, none. I won't get into this too much right now, but basically IK. IK is the best sync mode, and it is the best. This is what you want to try to use. However, it doesn't really use this sync mode, unless it's on parameters that, well, okay, it doesn't use that sync mode by default, but it will force it under parameters when you have a puppet, a 4-axis puppet open. And so if you always have the 4-axis puppet open while you're using face tracking, and it has the same parameters you use for the face tracking, well then it'll be perfectly and flawlessly synced over the network without having to use anything like VRC OSC Smooth, which is very good. However, it kind of smooths things out, and it kind of removes, I guess, the fidelity of some things. Unless you do it really well. I think VRC OSC Smooth is a very cool tool and works very well, but there are other ways of doing it too that can technically work better. However, this you're only limited to 8 parameters, 1 for each direction, and you have too many, so you have to have these open at all times, which kind of makes it a bit cumbersome, but it works really well. Anyways, yeah, so we have this, and the next one I wanted to do, I wanted to, I guess, make it a bit toned down. I wasn't really a fan of how much that is and such. Like, and also when you're walking around too, just like, I don't know, when you're walking around too, you can see, yeah, just like that. Anyways, and like, the idea think it's cool is that I always think it's kind of cool when people have like transparent things with clothing. Not to like reveal things like this, but I think having transparency on clothes kind of adds an extra layer of depth, and I think it looks very cool. So I thought that was cool about this. It's like the one thing I liked about this. Oh right, also like none of these really, actually none of here's not that bad, but anyways, yeah. I remember when I was working on this. You know what? Let's go on to the next one. I'm not gonna ramble about that. Okay, next one. That one. Next we have this one. Let's see here. Right, okay, let's take a look here. So, yeah, actually one thing I forgot to mention is that these two are both medium. So in here I actually combined the meshes. We only have 2 skin to mesh renders. I think we have 2 because it's just 1 for the face and 1 for the body. I don't know why I did that. I just did it like that, and that's my guess. Texture memory is not the greatest. Material slots also not the greatest. Fishbone transforms, so like, yeah, still a lot. But with this one, again, it still looks about the same. However, longer, bigger dress. The chest is all covered up. We have this nice little cover that goes across like this. This is covered up. I did some textures with the wrinkles here, such in between. Yeah, it's very nice. I'm quite happy with this. And it's still relatively the same, not too much to say. Let's see here. Social. No, not social. Avatars. This one is medium. Right, okay. So let's see here. Yeah, okay, we already went through this. Materials, skin slots. Yeah, so this one's pretty good. It's like the same other one. This one has Fizbones been seated. Oh, right, okay. Again, left and right puppet for the face tracking and all that stuff. Misc folder, I'll go into that second. The Fizbones when seated, this just turns off the Fizbones when I'm seated. I like to fly a lot of vehicles, like test pilots or grapple island or test drivers, whatever, all that sort of fun stuff. I don't normally wear this for that, but I remember there's like an instance where I was and it kind of annoyed me, so I just added this in. Misc folder. I forgot to talk about the squint sensitivity. Why is the gun on and off still here? Anyways, right, ear tracking. Right, okay. Wait, why is this here? I thought this was on a test avatar. Weird. Okay, anyways, squint sensitivity, I forgot to talk about this. Basically, you can detect face tracking how much you squint, and for this one, if you squinted enough, then it'd turn on like the squinting anime eyes you can see here. Ear and Ezio, same thing as before, turns on anastrophic reflections for the ears. Yeah, I don't know, that's just that. Not too much to say regarding that. Yeah, look at that. Look at those cool, interesting reflections. Yeah. But yeah, this one's pretty much the same. I think this one does have LTCGI support. I think this is when I actually updated the shaders and such. Oh, come on. Come on. Do your thing. Let there be light. Maybe. pretty sure this one has LTCGI. I think. It's just hard to tell. Doesn't look like it. Darn it, it doesn't. I lied. Okay. This one doesn't have LTCGI apparently. I thought it does. But anyways, yeah. And so, yeah, this one I was pretty happy with. It's pretty cool. I used this one for quite a while. Let's see, when did I upload this? I have the one the last updated, right. Avatars. Information. That's updated 2024. Okay, got it. But yeah, this one's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. Medium, not bad. 7.6 megabytes download size. Imposter. Let's see what you look like. Wow. Anyways, yeah, very. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Texture memory 79. Yep, we already went through all this. Still the same. Um, but yeah. So this is this one, and there's also like I don't know why that's your right ear tracking. This is wacky. So you could hook up devices through VRC or other programs, just an example of one, to send information like face tracking data, heart rate. There's like PyShock stuff and such, but there's also you could do things with, I forgot what they're called, EKGs? I could be wrong about that. But basically, devices are able to kind of measure your brain activity and send that information in. And I got one of those devices, and it was really, really cool. And so I implemented that. So basically, depending on how I was able to basically train myself to control the ears. Basically, how much I was focusing in my head in certain regions of it. It's very cool. The problem with it, I never was able to use it because as soon I would put on my VR headset, and my as soon as I put on my those two issues. As soon as I put on my headphones, it would block the Bluetooth. And then the second issue is that it rested on my forehead, which is like where it's supposed to go, but that's also where your VR headset rests. It's making it very uncomfortable. It's very difficult to use, so I never really ended up using it. It's here, it exists, but also this is default state because it's not getting any of the data sent in. But yeah, as able to control, I believe, whether we're facing forward or backwards, and left and right, I think. Well, yeah, forward, backwards, and then tilt? Because I remember I could rotate them, and then how much they'd tilt. Yeah, that's right, okay. Yeah, but yeah, that was very interesting. We're very, very weird. Didn't really do much with that, but it was cool getting it to work. But yeah, that's that. There's also this too, because, right, I was trying to figure out, like, what size of the chest I really like. Yeah, I covered things up. Dress is longer. Chest is covered. It has this nice little loop like this. It's very nice. I wasn't sure what I wanted for chest size exactly, so I had this like a mess around to see like what I liked and didn't like and such. But yeah, pretty sure like around 70 is usually where I have it. That makes sense. No, I don't think so. But yeah, that's this. Let's see, let me check something here. Yeah, so, right. I think in this one, did I fix? No, I didn't. Okay. So this one still has the sharp things here. Also here as well, it's a little bit, I mean, it's fine. It's not really that big of a thing. But yeah, so that's this one. Not too much different, just, I guess, cleaning things up a bit more. Textures are pretty much the same. Shading is kind of the same, just kind of cover things up more, made the dress bigger, and this as well. Yeah, still pretty much the same. Next we have... Oh, we have two more, actually. Okay. Next we have this one. So this one is probably the almost most up-to-date one. It's fairly recent. I made this one last year, or started working on it last year during Christmas. And this one, I wanted to, I believe, make it as polished as I possibly could, and as optimized too as I possibly could. And as you can see here, 63 megabytes, 58 triangles, one's going to mesh render, 4 material slots, so I got it down from like 11 down to 4. We just combined a bunch of materials into one. That could have been one. Fizz bones, really pushing that. 64, that's the limit for the number of transforms you could have on a good rating avatar and 8 fizz bone components. But for this, we still have, just turn back into it, or turn it into it. Come on, there we go. But for this, we still have all the dress physics, the chest as well, very slight, the bows here and everything. Also the bow in the back as well, and of course the hair and the ears, gotta have all that. But this is basically, I guess, my most refined version, other than the most recent ones, but I'll talk about those. So yeah, these are all basically the same, just more refined. I think I might have made the dress a little bit longer on this one, I'm not sure, but I removed a lot of bones. Oh yeah, chest is that. Do I have a slider for that on here? Mouth options, visum strength, your options. No, okay, got it. Okay, cool. But yeah, so this one, it's like the other one, but more refined. You know what? I'll open this up in Unity right here, because I have this one in Unity. So I don't know where the other ones went. Actually I do, but I just don't want to grab them. But, anyways, Yeah, so if this actually isn't quite the one I'm showing, but it's pretty close to that one. In order to actually get it to, let's turn this back on. In order to actually get this to, I guess, fit in, well, all the fizz bones fit properly, I do a lot of interesting things, I guess. So first off, we have our fizz bones for the dress. Right, thing I forgot to mention. We have a fizz bone for left and right parts of the dress. We do this so I can basically do the thing where you bow and grab each side of the dress. Something you can notice that you just have one root bone for all the fizz bones on here. You can't grab multiple fizz bones that are attached to the same, well, chain or fizz bone script. You have to have, yeah, if one fizz bone is grabbed, you have like multiple chains like this, you can't grab any of the other chains. You have to have multiple components in order to do that, so I have one for left and right side to still grab it, essentially. Yeah, something interesting is that in order to save on bones, or to save on fizz bone transforms, I have it where some bones are just in between bones, to where they just basically copy the rotation of the bone before them and after them, to kind of fill in that gap. Um, it's like, for example, if I just like, let's go into this chain and let's grab this, and let's grab this. Hold on. This one is that, this one is that. What does that one do? That's an empty. Okay, got it. So this will rotate at half the rotation of the one up here. Or, I'm misremembering this. It's been a while, but okay. Essentially what I do is that I have basically kind of every other bone is an actual bone, and then there's an in-between bone that's then used that's using a fizz bone to basically copy the rotation. Sorry, not a fizz bone, a VRC rotation constraint, to then copy the rotation between the ones. And then, yeah, I do the same thing for the ears and the hair. This is kind of a cool thing I really like that I did with the hair, is that, so there's 3 bones here. If I remember correctly, there's 3 bones. So just go to the spine, chest. I had to go through and rename all these bones. I'm not very happy with that. I still need to do that. Let's go to the hair. So we have 1 root hair bone. But for some of the front hair bones, yeah, so we have 3 main front ones. The middle one is the true one, and then the left and right hair bones, these ones, both copy the rotation of the middle one to make it look as if they have fizz bones, but they don't, and it works quite well. You see here, if you just like move the head, look at that, it looks really well, you can't really even notice. And so I do that quite a bit on here. Like, there's also like inner strands of hair, like inside here as well. All these copy the rotation of the outer strands, make them look as if they're all moving together. And yeah, can't really notice it, looks really good. Yeah. Alright, I'll get to that in a little bit too. Yeah, very nice, very cool. Same thing for the ears as well. Not too much to say regarding their ears. They move, they do their thing. Yeah. Did I give this one? No, I did not. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. But yeah, this is basically just a revision of the other one. I have actual sheen on the dress to give it a bit more depth, make it look a bit more soft, to really highlights the edges and corners. It makes the creases a bit more visible too. Very nice, very much like it. I also updated the, did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, I also updated the metallicness and roughness of all this stuff, so it's a bit more shiny. I believe the bows are about the same, or maybe a bit more. It's kind of just finalizing things more. It's very nice. Yeah. But yeah, this is very close to the finalized one. Mouth options control how much visings there are, and ear options. Right, okay. I saw the left and right puppet thing. There's a problem with this. Since you're only locked to 8 parameters in total, making mouth tracking that looks like you're actually kind of talking with it is a bit difficult. So I also had visings as well in here to kind of help smooth that out and give back that fidelity, because I'm not tracking everything. I'm only tracking smile left, right, mouth open, eye blink left, right, and some other smaller things. But those are the main ones. But I basically didn't have enough parameters to make things, I guess, track properly. Or make it look like, it looked good for expressing yourself, but when you actually came to talking, like, it looked fine. But it didn't have enough, I guess, fidelity to it. So I used VRC Visemes to basically kind of fill in that gap a little bit when talking, which works quite well. Ear options, right. So something that I added with this that you'll see here is that if I click on the head, we have these 2 fizzbone contact receivers and senders right here. These basically follow the eyes, or these ones don't, but these ones do, and these ones basically measure the distance between the center of the, so if you click on this and this and this one at the same time, you'll see how this one is located right in the middle, or right kind of like, yeah, halfway between the center and the edge. And so this contact receiver is, this is a receiver, this is a sender. So yeah, so this sender is basically telling this receiver that it's basically measuring the distance from the center. But if we know that this is 0 and this is 1 and the middle 0.5, we tell if the eyes are being left or, yeah, left or right. Because again, this just outputs how close it is to the center. There's no negative values, so we basically have to, I guess, half it, and then, yeah, just put it in the midpoint, and if it goes to below 0.5, we know it's moving that way, greater than that, like that, like that. And so that's used to drive the rotation of the ears. I could have just copied the rotation of the ears, or sorry, copied the rotation of the eyes to the ears. However, then I'd have to have two, okay, if you try to move the transform of a fizz bone that has gravity on it or things like that, it doesn't like that. It really doesn't like that. So what I did, I don't remember what I did actually, it's been a while, but I remember what I had to do in order to smooth things out is that I had it to where I used VRC OSC smooth because like I wanted the ears to not like, I guess, flick to where you're looking. I wanted to kind of be a bit smooth when you look because it didn't look very nice. So if I move over here like this, when we just watch the ears, it'll go over. Yep, they have a very, very slight smoothness to them. Right, okay, right, I remember now. So the reason why I did it like this is that if you're trying to rotate fizz bones, they don't take into account that movement when you rotate them manually. Like, if you rotate part of the chain in the fizz bones, it won't take into account that movement. However, I don't want to turn on is animated, because if you do that, then and you have gravity turned on, it kind of messes things up. Because that would solve the problem, but if you have gravity, then I like using gravity. Gravity is fun to use from having things more dynamically react to the rotations and things like that of your head, or whatever else they might be on. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, so yeah, if I just copy the rotation, then it would not be, it would be very jerky, and the fizz bones wouldn't react to that and smooth out. So what I did is that I got the rotation of the eyes. I could have just gotten that from the eye tracking data, but I just wanted to do it like this. I just wanted to do it like this. So I did it like this, and I smoothed it out using VRC OSC smooth, VRC or OSC smooth, and then I basically feed that into the ears. And that's why if we go into here, we have our movement, which is basically how much they react to the movements, and then our smoothness, that is, oh, wait a minute. Smoothness is basically how much they're smoothed. And yeah, so this is how much they move with the eyes and how much they're smoothed. So yeah, that's how that works. It's pretty cool. It turned out quite well, as you can see. Yeah, it's very subtle, but it's quite nice. I quite like it. But yeah, so this avatar was kind of almost done, actually. Like, I mean, it wasn't too much to improve upon. I forgot to talk about something very important about this. Okay. Something else I did as well is that I kind of learned about bent normals around this time. I mean, I didn't learn about them about this time. I knew about them, but I didn't really understand them. And then I realized their potential. This avatar isn't a very good example of bent normals per se. It uses them very lightly. But bent normals, basically, they store. It's like so they're like an ambient occlusion texture. However, instead of just storing the average occlusion for an area, they store the average direction in which light is being occluded or received from. And then you can use that data to then basically change how much an area is occluded based upon the direction you're looking at it. So essentially, you could have kind of baked reflections into a model, in a sense. However, not exactly, because baked occlusion doesn't actually store the color of things, it just stores the direction of the occlusion. You can see that here, how that looks. So I have that for this, this, and this. Right, pocket watch. Okay, that's something else I don't really need to go over, but whatever. And so, yeah. So you could bake these in Substance Painter or Substance Designer or Marmoset. And yeah, you can use that to basically make things darker. Let's just go here. Let's go to the body. And let's just increase this a lot so you can see where it shows up. Yeah, see here when I change, the occlusion changes as well. See here for this angle not so much, and then it darkens as, because again, you can imagine it like it's shooting off a ray, reflecting off this, and then hitting that, so making this spot darker because it's hitting itself. And yeah, you can see that here and how that's used, basically. Again, I'm just increasing it a lot right now just to see how that looks, and it's pretty cool. You can see you can capture the reflections of the bow as well. So look at from this direction, it's occluded, but from this direction, it's not occluded, or not occluded as much. The amount of occlusion changes in the direction you look. You make things look a lot more dynamic and nice. It's really cool. However, since we know the direction in which, basically change the direction of the occlusion of something. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's time. Okay, not that yet, not that. But basically what you could do is that you kind of store the, like I said, that you kind of have baked reflections kind of ish. if you also have the color information of or the indirect color, or I guess the indirect, basically you get the indirect lighting that is on the model, and you bake that into a texture. And then you use the bent normals to then basically mask off where this shows up. And this texture looks like this. It's a bit cursed, but it looks like this. You can see we have the indirect lighting from the bow right here. We have some of it from the tail right here, right here. We have some of the white parts right here because this is white, this is black. You kind of see how that looks. It's very interesting. You have some red from the bow right here. Very cool. You see this part of the bow here is black because it's hidden in this. It's really, really cool. Very interesting. Let's back to 0.5 and let's just put this back on. Oh, right, you're over here. There we go. Let's put that back on. There we go. But yeah. So that's that. It's really cool. Like, for example, right. Let's show the indirect colors. Let's show how big of a difference that makes. It doesn't make that big of a difference, but it's pretty cool. So let's just turn this down a little bit. Wait, that's the wrong one. Strength. You know what? Let's show a better example. Not this, or that, or this, but this. Yes. Okay, let's go here. J standard. You should have everything set up properly. Strength, darken, occlusion. Yes. Okay. This is normal. Let's do this and do this. Okay, cool. But yeah, you can see here I want to look at it from this angle, like this. It's darker, because again, it's shooting a ray off, hitting that. It's not actually how it works, just a good way to visualize it. Shooting a ray off, hitting that, gets occluded. In this direction, shooting a ray off doesn't hit anything, doesn't get occluded. See how it gets darker depending on the direction I look at it. Very nice, very cool. You can see that here, you can see it's darker from the arm when I look at it from this direction. Not as much, it just changes depending on the direction you look at it. But now what if we have this indirect lighting, and we use that to blend in between? Now we have the indirect lighting from the arm. Look how cool that is. Like, it's such a slight detail. You don't even need it. There's no good reason to have this. But it's such a nice, minute detail. See, it changes intensity depending on the direction you look at it. It's so nice. It's really subtle. It's very hard to see. But it's just so cool. And so, I did that for things like this. It doesn't use it as good on this, or show it as good. But it does use it in some spots. Like here, you can kind of see how you have the, like right here, if you look, you can see how it kind of reflects the color of the tail a little bit. Again, this isn't a very good example. Actually, there is a very good example on this. I'll show you that. But yeah, it kind of adds a little bit more depth. Like, for example, you can kind of see a little bit of a shadow of the bow here. And such, just kind of just adds a little bit more depth, especially these crevices here. I love what it does with the crevices here. Like, look at that. It gives them a lot more depth. And kind of occludes things that shouldn't have as much light. It's really nice, because you make things just like, pop out. Look at this really nice soft shadow. You can achieve this with ambient occlusion if you want. I don't have occlusion in here, but you can achieve this with ambient occlusion a little bit, but it doesn't change upon the direction you're looking at, which is fine, but it just gives it more depth, it kind of makes it more, I guess, less static, more dynamic. The heck? Oh, okay, sorry. Music from the world is playing, that distracted me, I was confused. Anyways, but yeah, a really cool example that this does on here, or that does again, you would never notice this unless you were new to look for it, but let me just refocus this and do this. We'll get to that in a bit. That's really cool. Well, I'll talk about why that's really cool, though. There we go. Okay, this is really cool. So here, let's just go down here, strength, let's turn this down. Let's turn this down, let's turn this up. So here you can see how it gets darker, because the gem is, well, these crevices are included, and yada yada yada, like that. Oh, right, I forgot to mention this, I also right, we'll get to that in a second. Anyways, okay. But yeah, you can see here how the bent normals, it just occludes the darker areas in the crevices, and depending on the direction you look at it, the occlusion changes. It's darker here, now it's not darker. Depending on the direction you look, it's pretty cool. It doesn't, I think it works pretty well, it's pretty cool. So this doesn't always get the greatest effects. Talk about that in a second, or I guess why that might be for a really dumb reason. Not a dumb reason, but you'll see why. Anyways, now let's get our indirect lighting in here. Look at that. Look at that. We have the indirect lighting from the gem. We have a slight reddish tint right here. Look at that. It's so slight, you barely even notice it. See much more here. Like, look at that. Look how cool that is. It's just like, you don't need it. There's no good reason for it. But it's beautiful. It's wonderful. You can see the slight reflection of the red gem right here. You can see like the slight reflection too of this as well in here. Like, look at that. It's so subtle, but it's so nice. And yeah, it's just, it's really cool. Again, you don't need it, but it's really cool. Um, yeah, and so with this one, I did that wherever I could basically, but like this, here, here, a little bit over here, like the main places where you can see it. It just kind of adds a bit more depth to it, and I think it looks really nice. But yeah, something I forgot to mention is that, actually let me finish up this topic first, is that, so you see these indirect color maps, you can't really make these anywhere. I mean, there's some programs that can. You technically can with Blender, but don't quite give you the result you want that would be usable for this, unless you really try to force it, and it's a bit difficult to get a look how you want it to. There are some other programs that you can make things like this in, and I think gives you a good result. I don't know, I haven't used those myself, I don't remember what they are. As told by someone else, there are things that could do this. But again, I don't know. Anyways, I mentioned how sometimes bent normals don't always work well. It's not because of the bent normal's fault, it's depends on what you use for baking it. And so I mentioned that you can't really bake this, or you can't really easily make this texture. And so, um, I made a whole baking tool for making these textures. Uh, yeah, it works. You could bake ambient occlusion, bent normals, and also the indirect color as well, and it works quite well. Other than the fact that depending on how many triangles you are, or how many triangles the model has, it will greatly affect how long it takes to bake and whether or not your graphics card crashes and closes everything you have open. You have to be very careful with it. It works when it works, but you have to be careful about it. It works quite well. It's not perfect. It gives quite noisy results, actually. I do have a little bit of a denoising here. You basically will blur the texture afterwards to try and get rid of some of the noise. I want to go back and remake this. Um, I've never made a tool like this before. It's very interesting. But yeah, that was a very interesting thing to hear. Like, again, you add in the meshes. You'll just add this in a little demonstration. You add in the meshes just like this, boom, and then it shows you all the materials they have. You set the resolution for each of them like this. You click this button. You set like because again some textures on this are not. I heard about this. Some textures on this are 248 by 496 and vice versa. So yeah, sometimes it's required. But yeah, and then if you have like duplicate materials, you can basically link multiple materials together. So now this knows that material 0 and, or sorry, 3 and 0 are both the same one. This kind of link materials together, change resolutions. And then this, what does this do? Alright, that's just used for enabling and disabling what materials you're baking. And yeah, and then next you have your mesh whitelist. This basically says which meshes should it take into account when baking objects. The global whitelist, this is for all meshes, and then this is for individual things. You have multiple meshes here. Let's just add another mesh. Just grab this here. We can see here we have the body whitelist and the body whitelist. These are for, right, they're both called body, not a great example. But, so now we have both the materials for all of that. This is a global whitelist. That means that all these meshes will be affected by each other. But if you want to set things for individually, just remove them and then add them in here individually so they don't affect each other when baking. Or you have so only certain meshes affect other meshes. It's very, very cool. I'm really happy to try this turned out. And then here your pixel padding. This is basically how much padding it'll give the textures around here. You kind of see it going here. Basically just will extend the border out a little bit just for, I don't know, when you're going down to bitmaps, it can cause texture bleed to happen less often. Yeah. Go back here. Next we have use material textures. This is pretty cool. This just basically says whether or not it should use the textures that are applied to the material in order to assist with the baking, like for example using the normal map, or also using the albedo. I'm also going to do like an emission maker as well, like baking the indirect or the bent normal, but for the emissions you basically have like real-time glowing reflections, which I think would be really awesome, but I never got around to doing that. You can also bake the world position. I never actually like finished working on this because I never saw why I would use this. You bake the world normal, tangent, and bit tangent. You bake it in the world space or tangent space, whatever, whichever one you like. Yeah, you usually don't ever need to bake this unless you want it for some reason. Just thought it'd be a cool thing to add in, so I added it in. How many samples, the radius, the spreads, basically like you imagine it's in a cone, and it's basically just like how wide that cone is. You can make basically make your ambient occlusion or your bent normals be more sharp per se. Min offset, max offset, basically the more the normal, if you're using a normal map here, the more it deviates from the surface of the normal, or the normal of the vertex, the more it deviates from that, it'll basically offset the ray, or the start position of the ray, further off from the surface. It's mainly due just for very sharp edges that might use like baked details, like for example, this bow has some baked detail to make it look a bit more smooth or rounded like this, but on very sharp corners where that happens, doesn't quite transfer very well, so you might want to move the ray further up so more of the rays don't hit this corner or things like that. Technically, now that I'm thinking about it, doesn't make sense, but I remember that as an issue, and this helped with making things look better. Rejection distance, which says, like, okay, if this is a distance within this amount, then just ignore it and just keep shooting your ray off. Don't worry about it. Blur radius, this basically says how much to blur the texture afterwards, just to make it remove some more noise. This is basically what you want to bake. I'm going to bake the ambient occlusion, bake the color. Did I do that? Bake normal, bake color. I don't know if I did this. I don't think I made this. I don't know why I did this, because I feel like this just gives this. So, I don't remember. Yeah. Anyways, bent normals, really want to bake the bent normals. If you want to bend the norm or blend the normals, it basically says, shoot. Right, this says, should you blend the original normal map that you baked here into, or the normal map that you used for the thing back into the bent normal to make it more closely reflect the original normal, so it can make the bent normals look a bit better. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. It kind of depends on what you're doing. Technically, it's better without that, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, technically. And also, if you want to make the color, you also have your output file. Just drag and drop whichever folder you want into here, and that's where we'll output the textures to. Click on this, you could give it a custom file format and such custom, not a custom, oh my goodness gracious, I don't remember what it's called. Just, you can give it a place where you want to put it, and it'll put it right there. And then you press bake, and there you go, you're good to go. It has some loading bars, so it'll take a while. It usually takes like, depends, it could be like 10 seconds, or it could be like 4 minutes. It just depends on what you're baking. This is awful compared to Substance Painter, which Substance Painter can do it much better, and in a couple seconds. It's just, it can't bake very weird things. Like, for example, this abomination of a texture. It just bakes the indirect lighting. You can't do that. So I made this for baking all this stuff. Yeah. And yeah, again, this does not produce better results than Substance Painter. Far from it, but it can bake some very interesting textures that can give some really cool results. But yeah, so this was an excuse for me to make this, and also redo this as well. And also I was like, oh, I can make this look better. I can add sheen to this. Like, look at, okay, sheen is pretty cool. Sheen is basically an effect that can be used, or I guess a PBR, shoot, I forgot what it's called. PBR technique to make things look, well, make clothing or fabrics look more soft and such. Look at that. Yeah, it just adds a bit more to it. Makes it look a bit more soft. Kind of like a layer of dust, you could think of it. It's not that, but yeah, I can actually search it up. Just go to sheen. Yes. No, that's not what I want. No. Sheen, PBR rendering. Give me the thing. Yes, here we go. That's what I was thinking of. No, this is not what I wanted. Boo. Sure, let's go here. Yeah, okay. Anyways, let's go to the images. Yes, here we go. Okay. So you kind of see here, it's kind of like a Fresnel in a sense. It does react to lighting. But it's like a Fresnel, because he just makes things look a little bit more nicer. It's very interesting. I can't actually tell. I don't know why this one has spectral highlights and this one doesn't. But I'm assuming this is one with the sheen, because here it has a little nice little soft, just sort of like, yeah, it's very nice, very cool. See it here too, I makes the edges more softish, almost-ish. Kind of used for felts or things like that. It's very interesting. Oh, okay, that doesn't really show it. Oh yeah, here's a good thing, like, look at that. Again, it's very similar to it for now, but it reacts to the lighting. It's very cool, very nice. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna add that to my shader, and yeah. Right, this also uses subsurface scattering as well to make the skin look more skin-like. You got this, shader. Come on. Yeah. See here, like with. Oh, I could have just turned down the intensity of it. See, like with and without. Yeah. I try to rely on tune aspects as little as possible. The only tune thing is just like I guess, how lighting is handled, or I guess the direct lighting and indirect lighting. But everything other than that, it is all PBR in terms of Fresnel, reflection, specular highlights, ambient occlusion, all that fun stuff, bent normals, whatever you want to use. Sorry, my voice is dying now. Sheen, yada yada. This was very poorly implemented. I just want to get this added so that it just worked, and yeah, it's really not meant for anything. This is a really old shader that I've been slowly updating and kind of cobbling things together. I want to stop using the shader for this model and go on to a newer one that I started working on that is easier to work with, compiles faster, because it's just more well made, and it supports more recent updates to VRC lighting, like VRC light volumes. That comes from Amplify Baked Light Volumes, or whatever it's called. Yeah, so this shader doesn't support light volumes. It does support LTCGI, but doesn't support light volumes, which I really want to add in. Like my other shaders do. This one doesn't because it's a pain to work with. But yeah, right. I forgot to mention this too. So I also rebaked the normals I basically made a high poly of the bow and the ribbons. Same for these as well, and I baked the normals for that to make them a lot more smooth. So if we go up here, if you look at this is how it would look without. And you can see, it's kind of hard to show, because again, it already looks quite nice. But you can see here how, you kind of see the vertex of it, a little bit, right here. Especially over here, you can very much see that. It's not a bad thing. It's just that it's like, I can improve that. And so, I made a high poly model, baked it, and now look at that. Much smoother. It's very nice. It's very nice. Very happy with how that turned out. It just ever so slightly makes it a bit more, I guess, what's the word? I forgot the word. Darn it. More refined, that's not the word I want to use. Clean, makes it a bit more clean. Just smooths that out a little bit. I did the same thing here for the edges of the bow as well. Again, baked normals don't always work the best depending on how you're using them for. It's a little bit hard doing baked normals for models that other people made, because you can kind of change whether an edge is a sharp edge or not. But again, that kind of also depends on whether or not there's a UV seam there, so you can't always do that and get good results. So you have to be kind of careful about it. It doesn't always work well. But yeah, so I used baked normals just kind of smooth this out, make it look more rounded and nice. Look at that. Yeah, I think it's better. I think it looks quite nice. Yeah, just kind of helps smooth things out. Did the same thing up here as well with these. Again, it's not perfect, you can see right there, but you can see it does help things out quite a bit. Yeah. Again, I don't know, just makes them look a bit more clean. Yeah, again, it's not perfect, but it helps. It's pretty cool. I like doing this, like getting models and just cleaning them up however I can and keep iterating over them and such. So yeah, I also did the same thing here as well for this. Before you could see that it had a lot of more sharp edges earlier in the video. Just grab that. Where are you? Right, that we don't worry about that. Remember how I mentioned like the ear tracking thing? This is what I thought I made for that, but I guess I probably, since this uses the same, or this one and this one uses the same animator FX, I guess when I updated this one, it got that as well from this, so I'm assuming that's what happened. But go back here, go into this, and look at the gem. Here it's very sharp, and kind of like that. It's not a bad thing. If you want to look like that, then go right ahead. But I was like, I could do this a bit better. I was like, I want to clean this up. It's nice, it's cool. Does this need to be cleaned up? Not really. No, it does what it needs to do. It's pretty good, it's pretty nice. But it could be better, technically. It just depends on what you think looks good or not. It's up to you. So I was like, okay, cool. And so I baked a normal for this as well. And yeah, it kind of smoothed things out a little bit. It's kind of hard to see, not too much of a difference. Right, I had to change the normals on this. This is now shaded smooth, so it's shaded flat. You kind of see here, the edges are a bit more smooth now, a little bit. These are also a bit smooth, much more smooth. You can see how it looked before. Yeah, that's how it would have looked with it. It just kind of smooths things out. Just makes it a bit nicer. It's pretty cool. Very nice. Yeah, just kind of polishing things up a bit more. Yeah, and so that's this one, I guess. Actually, no. This is, okay, we're technically still talking about this one. There technically is another one. But yeah, that's this one. This one's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. Pretty much, I don't think there's really is too much to improve upon. However, I decided that I want to make another new one. I remember the one reason why I wanted to redo this. One, it's practically the same. Good avatar rating, good everything. I remember now. Okay, so there's two reasons. Let me check something really quickly. Your options, 50, okay, yeah, got it, cool. Everything should be about the same. Visor strength, watch toggle. Why does it have a visor strength? This doesn't do anything anymore. Okay, anyways, for this one, I updated my facial tracking to track a few more things that I realized that were a bit more important than other things I tracked. So for this one, no, the eyes, oh well. For this one, yeah, the other one I just tracked, I think I tracked mouth open, I think also like the distance between the lips parting, and then also the smile sad on left and right. On this one, I do all those, but I also track, I guess, ape shape, I think it's called, is basically how much of an O shape your mouth is. I could be wrong about that, I could be saying the wrong name, but basically it lets you do ooh, oh, and things like that a bit better. And that was just enough for me to actually, I guess, not have to rely on Visums anymore. It says Visum strength. This doesn't have Visums anymore. It doesn't. But just enough to where I didn't need to use Visums on this anymore. It's pretty cool. Like, yes, I have Visums assigned to this, on here. Actually, no, wait, yeah, I do. Yeah, but these don't do anything. Well, actually, no, do they do anything? I don't think they do anything. Body, blend shapes, alt, let's take a look here. They're very minor. Okay, let's take a look here into the animator. Open puff, left, right, mouth X, open sad, right, Visings. So we have Vising layer here. That, blush ear rotation. Watch second weather. Where are you? Because I know I have a thing that controls, because if we have Vising strength control, unless that's a parameter? No. So then what does that do? Parameters, Vising strength. If I try to remove this, what is it going to do? Maybe I shouldn't do that. Let's do it. Yeah, okay. Are these blend trees? Yeah, they're all blend trees. Okay. So basically this controls, yeah, so 25% of our 25%, okay, yeah, Visums basically do nothing anymore. I don't even rely on those anymore for the face tracking for it to look good whilst talking, and you wouldn't notice, like, it looks normal. Yeah, just from adding that little ooh shape, oh shape to the mouth. It's very cool, very nice. Yeah, you can see all the things I track here. Mouth, pout, why pout? There's a reason for that. But yeah, pout, mouth X, right, mouth left and right, yeah, mouth X, smile, smile, mouth open, jaw open puff. Yes, the distance between the lips basically, jaw open, so basically how open your jaw is. That's good for opening your mouth. This is good for smiling. Jaw open puff is that it's like, whatever. They have combined parameters. We'll just use jaw open puff because, again, you can't puff your cheeks if your jaw's open, so you can combine them in one parameter. That's what they do. Yeah, and then right, left eyelid expanding speeds, which is how wide your eyes are open, whether or not you're blinked, and whether or not you're squeezing them. Pretty cool. Yeah, you can see some of the stuff here for the I, R, and L poses for the contacts. Ear movement, R movement, this then drives the VRC OSC parameters down here. Yeah, blush, why is it a toggle? Oh, it's for Quest, I think. Yeah, that's just for Quests. Yeah, okay. Basically, I also have a Quest version where you make it upload. I just have a parameter here that basically detects how the blushing works on Quest and PC. This is whether or not blush is enabled or not. Anyways, it's local. That's used for the VRC OSC smooth. Yeah, and the blush, that's controlled by heart rate. You see this right here. That then feeds how much the model blushes. As we can see, if we go down here, if we just close this, there's so many Visums to combine it all into one mesh. It's all kind of conjoined together in this abomination. Let's go down here to the detail. Is the wrong material? It's the wrong material. Go to the face. There we go. And yeah, how much there is blush, indeed. But yeah, so I don't know why I closed that. Tune, ramps, whatever, all that fun stuff. Yeah, so that's that. I forgot what I was talking about. Right, so is this the newest one? I think this is the newest one. Yeah, it is. I haven't even made a profile picture for this one yet. But this one, I wanted to update the face tracking, and I wanted to add in a pocket watch. And it's best if I show it on the test app. Let me open up VRC OSC to get this up and working. And then let's get the pocket watch test. No, I want this one. Yes. I started working on a pocket watch for the model because I think it'd be really cool because I like doing character stuff. However, it always annoyed me when I had to open up a menu and some people would notice that and like, are you checking your watch? And it's like, yeah, I am. Whatever. It's like, okay, well, let's actually add something that lets me check the time on the watch. Ooh, why are you loading like that? Okay. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna model a pocket watch, and so I started modeling a pocket watch. Sure. Okay. No, I know you want me to join your Discord. I'm already part of your Discord server. Let's just stop this. Let's play. Are you gonna do it again? No, looks like you're okay. Alright. Everything running well. Loading graph. You got this. Yes, you're running well. Okay, cool. Good. Anyways. But yeah, I was like, let's make a pocket watch. And so, pocket watch. Open lid. Oh no, it's kind of, let's stand on the, yeah, there we go. And so I started working on a pocket watch for this, and it's pretty cool. This thing is 2.3k tries in total. It tells the time, acts as a stopwatch, also tells the weather. I don't know why it says there's a thunderstorm right now. I don't think it's thundering right now. I gotta check up on that. Yeah, all the gears and everything move in reaction to the time. The only ones that don't are these. These ones are like animated in place. So sound effects too. I don't have the sound turned on right now. Actually, you know what? Let's just turn on the sound for a second. OBS. Sound, come here. Oh, I hear the ticking sound now. Ever so slight. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, it does time, weather, also sunset and sunrise. There's this little panel behind this whole entire panel. Here, I'll show how it works. In the audio, open back up, VRC I'm gonna manually change the values really quickly. Oh, it's showing thunderstorms. I already have it manually changed. Okay, just set this to 3. And then, oh, you see how it rotates, changes, shows the weather. Let's do 31, why not? Okay, thunderstorms, we do, I don't know, 39. Also thunderstorms do 36. Rain. But yeah, it does the different weathers. And if it's code 0, which doesn't know what weather is, just doesn't show it's a question mark, we hook up the code properly. That's hooked up. Now it should, come on, you can update. Maybe it just is a code 0. No, it's not. It just doesn't want to. VRC is a little bit weird sometimes with this. Is an abomination. I hate this so much. This awful, horrible nonsense. Well, just this, what I made here, not this. This whole thing is very cool. But this is still very much work in progress. Or I guess, from my understanding, this pulse that they call it is a work in progress. Doesn't always work properly. Doesn't always update. Oh yeah, there it is. Clear sky, clear sky. But yeah, this also keeps track of the sunset as well. It uses a lookup table to basically figure out. You plug in a time and a date, and it'll basically figure out. So like, you know how like the sun changes how long it's in the sky over the course of the year? It takes into account that. Also takes into account time shifts as well. I have lookup texture for that. I can show that it's in the project. Pocket watch, where are you? Pocket watch. Textures, yeah. Here's that lookup texture right here. Basically, you feed it a 0 to 1 value, but then we have this little part right here that converts the time and date into, feeds those values into this lookup texture, and then it displays this lookup texture on the pocket watch, and that's how it basically displays sunset, sunrise, all that fun stuff. It's very cool, very cool. But yeah, this whole pocket watch, I could open up the project for that, I guess, why not? But yeah, that whole pocket watch is pretty cool. I'm hoping to sell it soon. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I had to work on that. I haven't worked on that in a week or two. Right, it also does a stopwatch too, because why not? That's what these two hands are for. So if I go into here and do this, by the way, you'll attach this to your hands. It's just like this for testing. When you start the stopwatch, hey, there it goes. I'm probably going to change this up and change the textures a bit more. See that? Look at that. It's gone. It's doing its thing. You press reset and it'll reset the pocket watch just like that. And yeah, you actually need to stop it like that. This will be gesture controlled as well. So like if you put your hand behind your back in a fist, it'll be in your hand. When you open your hand, it will open up. So we have a gesture control slot here. And I make icons for all this as well. And yeah, that's why there's just default textures. But I need to make all the icons for that. And when I press reset, you even see that the gears react to behind that as well. So very cool. All the gears react to everything the thing does. Then I'm going to stop this, reset. Yeah. Anyways, all cool, fun stuff. Blender. Yes. Pimations. Oh, right, yes. Pocket watch. Here we go. Yeah, here it is. But yeah, this turned out very well. I'm really happy with this. Turned out very well. All these gears behind you are all flat planes with transparency on them. Very cool, very nice. I really like how this turned out. It's very cool, very nice. But yeah, 2.3k tries. Very good. Yes, or at least I'm pretty sure it's pretty good. But yeah, turned out very well. Very happy with that. And so yeah, I want to make this avatar, so I add the pocket watch to it and update the face tracking. That's pretty much why I made this avatar, because I wanted to keep the original one just in case. But yeah, yeah, that's why I made this new one. Oh right, I think I also have to do the texture too for this, so that this is actually like reflective. Yeah, there it goes, because I checked that earlier, remember. But yeah, I have to do the texture for that, just a little small, tiny thing. I forgot to mention too, I combined some textures too, not in this one, just like in this newer version that's a good rating. The textures, yeah. So the body and the dress and the body are combined into one. Oh right, also I forgot about this. I did this little model up here. Well, technically I didn't. do it. I remade it. I got a model, touched it up, did textures for it, things like that. I try, like, for things like this that are personal stuff, I try not to do stuff from scratch. I try to find models that already exist and then tweak them, update them, do whatever I need to do to get them to work well and look good. And yeah, I know, I enjoy doing that. It's fun seeing, like, looking at things like, how could this be better? How could this be better? Oh, we could do this and this and this. It's a fun process, kind of figuring out creative solutions to things. But yeah, so I did this one because I wanted to add the pocket watch so I can actually check the time when I'm doing character stuff and not be out of character, and it works quite well. I will say it's very difficult trying to... Did I turn off the sound in Audacity? Audacity, that's the thing. OBS. But yeah, it's a bit difficult reading the hands because VR, reading things in VR is kind of difficult. Yeah. But yeah, right. And then, there's this. This is why I wanted to make this video. We're finally here after an hour of talking. Oh my goodness gracious. This has been in the oven for like a year or two. Well, more like 3 years actually. Yeah, I've sketches and notes in my notebook regarding this. But okay. Okay. Shoot, I'm trying to figure out where to start with this, because this is peak. I'll explain why. It's not because of the outfit. It's because of very specific details on the outfit that show some. Okay. This uses bent normals, and you can kind of notice it. Like, you gotta know what to look for in order to notice it. This uses bent normals, and oh my goodness gracious, it's glorious, it's wonderful, it's amazing. Again, you still kind of have to know what to look for, but in the places where it shows up, oh my goodness, it's gorgeous, it's wonderful, it's absolutely stunning. It's kind of like this, how you have the indirect line here, like this is more of a visible thing. Again, you wouldn't really notice it unless you know what to look for. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. I learned about this, right, so this one, okay, the reason why I want to do this outfit and all this, I've always wanted to, I guess, like, okay, whenever I use a model or make something that has, I guess, female characteristics, I try to tone things down to where it's comfortable for myself, and, like, again, I don't want to draw attention because because of those things, so I just try to tone it down as much as I can, and to where it still feels nice, I guess. Yeah, I don't mind it at all when other people have some, like, whatever, I do not, it's just for myself, that's all. However, I've always wanted to have a model that I guess is a bit more promiscuous, you'd say. Like this, for example. But also, too, again, I try to tone things down. And, like, I know I've helped people with stuff, like with making things, I guess, more jiggly, more weight painting stuff and such, and, like, just doing cool stuff to make that kind of thing look better. And it's really cool. And, like, I have the skills to make things look really nice and really cool, but I only really use those skills unless I have, like, a good enough reason to use them. And so I've always wanted to, like, actually do things where I actually, like, properly do, like, this, like, I guess, nice jiggle, you could say, for different parts of the body and such, and I haven't really been able to do that. And so, yeah, this is for that, so I can actually do things like that, have a reason. Also, I just wanted to have something I could wear different that, isn't this? I don't know, I think that's just, again, a bit different from what I usually wear. Yeah, this can't do anything or anything at all, it's just, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. Oh my goodness gracious, the occlusion. It's wonderful. Anyways, let's get into this. Originally, this was actually going to use... Do I have it in here? Misc. I do not, but let's grab it. Extension clothing. Let's go here. I originally met 2 people that were using... Oh my goodness gracious, all black, all white. White, black, white, pink. White hue, pastel. I want the red one, please. That would be greatly appreciated. It's just I can't see anyone because they're all loading in. Red hue. Yes! There we go. Oh, okay. So, I saw, I guess 3 people, I think it was, using these, or this outfit, and I was like, oh my goodness gracious, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. Before I start pointing this thing is it's 160k tries, which is kind of a lot just for an outfit. However, oh my goodness, the person who did the materials for this and the textures did an excellent job. Like, for example, I don't know, the shoes kind of are the best thing to look at for this, but, like, it has really, really nice big normals. They have a layer for the velvet, I guess. It actually looks like proper soft. Like, it looks soft. You could feel it on your fingers, and it's really nice. And they use a bit of a Fresnel to achieve that. And, like, that's fine. They use a little bit of rim light, too. Very nice. They also have, like, a layer as well on top of it for, like, a clear coat to make it look as if it has, like, the thin plastic layer as well. It's very nice. Super cool. And again, the shoes highlight this the most. You have the very nice, really nice, and there's a rim light right there I was talking about. Not rim light? Backlight? Similar things that they use right here, kind of give a bit more of a shine. They also have the Fresnel as well that they use to kind of give it, again, when I change the angle, this becomes lighter and darker. Just make it more like, more velvet-like. And then here on the shoes, they have normals as well to kind of give this more depth. They have the textures be a bit more darker, so it includes these areas. It kind of like, again, they use the normals, they use the matte caps really well on this to make this look very, very nice. And like, it's wonderful. Like, it's really good. Yeah, like it looks really good. It's really good for what it's trying to do. The poly count's really high, but it's really well done. It looks really good, and it'd be amazing to redo this and like have it use proper PBR techniques. I'm not saying this is bad or anything. Like, I don't know. I think it's fun trying to adapt things into a PBR workflow and have it look just as good or if not better. And this, for what it's supposed to be, like a tuned model, it looks wonderful. It's amazing. I love how this looks. It's so good. It's amazing. And so yeah, I started to fit this on the model, on this, and it wasn't. I mean, it was fine. It was going well. However, there's another problem. This is 150,000 triangles. This is like, I think like 60,000. I may just go to here. And Vanguard, this is 59,000. I don't think I have the budget for that. My limit is 70,000. Yeah. So I would have to remake all the clothing, bake all the clothing from the high to low, basically from the original onto the new low. So I have to remake all the clothing, bake it, and then also re-weight paint it. Let me transfer the weights. Probably that probably work fine. We'll see. But yeah, I have to redo the textures, redo all the models, do a bunch of baking. Also, again, this is a bit over the top, I guess, for what I want to go for exactly. Again, like this, like the harness and all that, and like this. I think this is really cool, but it's more of a show. Like you're performing, I guess, per se. I didn't really want to. I don't know. It's a bit too much. It's a bit too much. Like there's a bit too much going on. I want to keep things a bit more simple. But yeah, I think this is an amazing outfit, and it would have been really cool to use it. However, I didn't want to spend a month on this project. That's like the main reason I want to work on other stuff like the pocket watch and getting that out and ready. But yeah, this is really well made. I love this. It's super cool. It's like, oh my gosh, the details, like all the ripples and such, and the normals, and like the coat that they have on top, make it look as if it has like that nice plastic sheen, and the velvet looks so wonderful. I'm not really a fan of the sparkles and such of this, but like, it looks fine. It's fine. But like, all of it just looks. It's really well put together. It's really cool. I love this. It's just, it's so good. Like, oh my goodness, the clear coat on this. I know it's not. I mean, like that's what it's technically called, but the matte cap they have on this. It's so nice. Like it gives the feeling of the like you can look at this and you know how it's supposed to feel. Like it's amazing. It's wonderful. I love this so much. But yeah, it's really really nice. I'm not a huge fan of when people do like fur shaders and such because it's kind of a bit unoptimized depending on how you do it. This one's fine for the most part. Um, I'm not very well versed in fur shaders. I just kind of see them a lot and it's not done very well. But this looks pretty nice. Um, anyways, but yeah, very cool outfit. It just, it's a bit much for what I want to do, and it take a lot of time to get it to work. But it looks really, really well done. Like again, I love the little checkered pattern here. Again, and how each one reflects the light slightly differently, kind of giving that more contrast. Not just difference in colors, but difference in how the light itself is reflected and such. And it's really cool. Just kind of adds more depth to it. Kind of adds more variance. It's really nice. I really love this. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. There's not too many. Okay, so I was like, shoot. Well, there's this, and like I knew of this outfit on Booth. However, I kind of overlooked it because I didn't think it was that well. Like let me pull it up really quickly. Let's just open up Booth. Booth should be yeah, here we go. Yeah, here it is. I kind of overlooked this a little bit. I've known about this for quite a while. And, like, it looks nice. Like, it looks fine. But it's kind of, I don't know, it looks fine. You see that there's normal map detail here again for the mat cap and such. But, like, I mean, it looks fine. It's fine. I don't know. I just kind of overlooked it and I was like, okay, yeah. This is that. There's not too much to it. It's just, yeah. And then I got it. And I was like, yeah, it's 650 JPY. That's pretty cheap. Sure, let's try it. Let's take a look at this. And, like, again, if it's good enough, in my opinion, then I will work with it. And also, it properly already fits this. I did have to do a lot of work on the chest because I feel like the shape of the chest on this model has always been kind of really weird. So I had to reshape this so it fits the new shape I have for the chest and such. It looks a bit more natural, per se. I don't know, I just always thought it looked odd. Um, but yeah, so I got it, and but this is not how it looks when you got it. This is me after doing all the work on it and such. But again, oh, when I got it, it was like not quite to this, but it was pretty close. Like the big thing that when I got it, I realized, oh my goodness gracious, this is an amazing model, or very well done. It doesn't use baked normals from like high to low, but the hand painted normals are exceptionally well done. They are really well done. Let's just turn this on. And let's just enable this. Let me put on the original normal map for this. Let me look a little bit broken. Let's just put on the original. Let's just grab. Let's just get another principal oh my gosh, BSDF. Let's just grab our textures. We can also grab the original ones. Download. Here we go. No, I believe, yeah, here we go. Text. Let's grab the normal map first off. And let's just plug this in. So let's get the, let's just first apply the albedo. Let's get the color. Let's get the, use the black. We use the black, yeah. Let's grab the black one. And just do that. And yeah, okay. There's not much to say. It's just, this is the base color. Not much to say really at all. Some things might look weird, like the bows and all this, because I combined some of the textures together and did some stuff. But yeah, nothing to say really yet. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I downloaded it. I was going through the textures even before I like got the model, like in Blender or anything. And I saw the normal map, and I was like, no way. This is gorgeous. Oh my goodness gracious, this is beautiful. Oh my goodness gracious, this is amazing. And oh, this is really cool. Because again, you zoom in, you can see that they have like a bit of a roundness here to the stockings going across on the skin, on the layer of either that could be the skin or it could be like latex, whatever you want it to be. But they even have a bit of a bulge there, as if how skin would react to that if it was tight enough. And it's like, oh my goodness gracious, that's amazing. Oh, okay. And I saw that, I was like, this is gonna be so cool. So I got it on the normal map, and I put it on, and that's the emission. Shoot. Put it on the normal, and oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Look how good that looks. It's amazing. It's really good. And this is just normal mapping the albedo plugged right into the principal as if none of that work. It's just like, it just looks really good. And like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I got this. This is amazing. I love this. I just had to tweak some things and make some changes here and there. Like, actually do, like, actual, like, proper, I guess, like, then this is meant for B-Tune. It's not meant to be PBR or anything like that. So I'd actually go in and make roughness and smoothness, all the roughness, metallics, and all that, and some occlusion stuff. And I actually updated the texture to give it a bit more depth. Because, like, this whole part is just black. There should be a little bit of variation. Technically, there shouldn't be any variation with latex, but I want to give it a little bit. But yeah, this is exceptionally well done. It already fits the model. I had to switch this up a little bit so it fits properly. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to say regarding the topology. But like, oh my goodness, it's wonderful. It's amazing. Like, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, it's perfect. I was like, this is great. Yeah, let's just put this back on how it was. Yeah, this is how it looks after me doing stuff and things like that. I'll talk about what I did in a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, it turned out really, really well, this outfit. So I started working on it in Substance Painter and such. You're going to see that the, shoot. There we go. See the head and, yeah, the head's missing because when I baked the occlusion, I didn't want the head being counted. I didn't want the head to be taken into account, but I could just put the head on a separate mesh and do it like that. However, I didn't want to do that because that requires more work when updating the models and going back and forth, so just all one model. But yeah, so I started working on this, doing the textures for it, and also I also grabbed some of the bows as well from the other outfit, because without the bows, it kind of looks a little bit plain, looks like it's lacking something, and then a friend of mine just said, what if you just took the bows from this and put them on here? And so I did that, and it looks wonderful. It looks great. It's lovely. Um, shoot. But yeah, like if I go into the textures, you can see here how the bows, I just kind of shoved them up in here and such, and down here and over here as well, just wherever they'd fit. And yeah, um, but yeah, in Substance Painter, so I did working the textures and such, putting all the stuff and such, doing all that fun stuff. Um, yeah, like, I don't know, like for the latex, go to the base color. I want to give it a bit more detail in the latex. I thought it'd be cool to do that. Technically, it doesn't make sense, but I was like, yeah, sure, let's do that. Why not? I also added a bit of a base lighting as well to kind of get, again, a bit more depth. You see, you can turn off the edge lighting. You see, it's using the or the baked world normal. There you go. You're just using this to then figure out. Yeah, that's world normal. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was confused. It's like, this is the normal map, but no. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, yeah. I gotta tone that down. I added these little in here. That's a bit much. I need to tone that down. But I'm gonna say, right, yeah, I wanted to change the base colors. So I don't know, give it a bit more going on, I guess. Doesn't need it per se, but yeah. And also, maybe here's the fishnets has proper roughness compared to the actual latex. Man, that's really messy for my eyes. And yeah, I didn't do too much. But also for fun. Substance Painter, oh my gosh, Bent Normal Substance Painter look gorgeous, and like, it's wonderful. Like, I already have Bent Normal support in my shaders, because they're pretty cool to do with. However, Substance Painter's implementation of Bent Normals is really well done, because, well, first off, it actually reacts to the level of, like, I want to do this with mine too, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. Also, working on the shader I made that this model uses kind of stinks. It's not a very good shader. I mean, okay, the shader's fine. It's just compiling it due to how I made it just makes it a bit annoying to update it, and also have to move it between projects and such, but whatever. I didn't want to do that too much. But yeah, Substance Painter's Bent Normals look phenomenal. Look at this. Look how oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like, that looks really, really good. I'm going to just do this too. Like, that looks amazing. That looks wonderful. I wonder what their solution to that is. And I wondered about this for a while. It was like when I first started working in Bent Normals about a year ago, like implementing them into like my own stuff. Like, there's nothing really online at all regarding anything. Bent Normals, like, what was it? What's it called? Unreal had some documentation written up as of like how to use them, but not like how to use them, but not how they actually worked internally. So I kind of had to figure that out myself, which wasn't that bad. It's just I want to get the exact same look as this. And like my Bent Normals, here I'll show you how it looks. I'll switch over to other ones. This is how mine look. They're a bit more soft. They still work and do their job. They're just a bit more soft. That's all. Produce a bit of a different look. Yeah. Again, these are mine. This is theirs. Yeah, this is just a different effect. Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to replicate how Substance Painters worked. And I was like, well, I have Substance Painter. It's on my machine. Let's go digging through my files. And so I did that. And then I ran into, oh my goodness gracious, I ran into this. Oh, they have documentation for how all their stuff works in the files. And like, I've done something like this before for like a class like we use. I forgot what it's called. We made a thing like this before for I forgot what man, I can't remember what it's called. I have it in my files. Where are you? Let's just grab you. Documents. Doxygen. Yes, that's what it's called. Where they had us like made like a whole Doxygen thing for our program and how everything works. And you know what? Why not? I'll show that really quickly. It's kind of really cool. I really liked how that turned out. Where are you? Nope, that's empty. Here we go. Do, 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 do. Make, oh, that's make. Okay, no, 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 no. Assignments, exam 2. No. Where, homework 1? No. Assignments. Yes, yes, yes. Oxygen, yes. Yes. Oh. Huh? What happened? Oh, wait, hold up. Yeah, here we go. I just clicked on the wrong thing. Where are you? I know you're in here. It's been a bit. That's not it. Here it is. Yes! It's very simple, but like I was really happy with how this turned out. We have all of our classes and everything here for all our stuff. And like everything, exactly how everything works, it's wonderful. And if a class or function whatever uses something else, it'll also refer to it as well. Like, so some things use other things. Anyways, I don't know, it's very cool. We used Oxygen for doing this. It's very, very cool. It's very nice. I really liked it. Yeah, functions. Here we go. All our functions. Book type ISBN. Let's do. Equals the author. That's the class. Files. I want to go to file list, book info, book type, cashier function, CCP. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. So this also like again, some functions use other functions, and it'll actually like you can click on this and it'll go to the other functions. It's very cool. I really like doing all this. But anyways, they did the same thing too, but a bit differently, and it's awesome. It's all this documented. I was like, oh, oh. This is actually taking exactly what you need. This actually doesn't really. This is kind of like useless. Nothing right here. This isn't what I wanted. But after digging through all the stuff for a little bit, like okay, this is just converting the normal from tangent space into world space, and that's pretty much all that's going on here. Yeah, I don't even know why this is in its own function. Like it just doesn't really like. I mean, yeah, I guess it does, but like that's like this is like nothing. But believe correctly here. Go down a little bit. Yeah, here it is. Here's the bent normal calculation right there, and I can just take it and plop it just into my stuff. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And so I did that, and it's amazing. Oh, this is Substance Painter. Darn it. Shoot. Why did Substance Painter... Why are you... What? Okay. Um, and so I implemented it, and it looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's wonderful. Look at this. Oh, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Look at this. It's kind of harder to see here. But let me show it in Substance Painter because it shows up better here. Look at this. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I go to the closed matte vicious latex. Yes, give me this. So just rough this. It changes with how rough it is, and like that's really cool. I've tried to do that before, but again, I said earlier, it's annoying working with the shader I'm using for this. I need to go to my new one that's much easier to work with, but I want the lighting to match because my new one is based off of trying to. Newer one just tries to basically. It tries to reflect the lighting as accurately as possible in the scene you're in, and it doesn't work as like traditional toon shaders do, like Poyomi and such. It works a bit differently. Like my older shaders work kind of like how Poyomi lighting does, and like all the like the Zixis and all that stuff, Mochi, whatever, all that stuff. However, I want to do more accurate, like actually more accurately reflect lighting. So I was like, okay, I'm making a new shader, and so I did that. It doesn't match. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, this actually changes. Yeah, the bent normals change how sharp they are depending on the roughness values. So it's really cool. It makes them look really, really nice. However, if you actually look at this little bit of code here, there's no roughness. It doesn't take that into account anywhere here. It doesn't really anywhere here at all. I mean, it does here for when they're sampling the does take that into account here when they're sampling the environment map or cube map for doing the specular reflections, so it can get the proper LOD for it. But, or the proper bitmap, I don't know, there's a few ways to say it. But yeah, so it's a little confusing here. However, this is really, I wanna do this. This is really cool. Basically, what they do is that they have this little bit right here that generates a random number depending on the samples and which one you're in. And then basically it feeds it into this little vector 2 xi. It feeds that into here. And this basically will kind of alter. So you feed it the world normal, the bit tangent and tangent, and the roughness. And basically, with this random value, it'll kind of randomly blend between the normal bit tangent and tangent. Um, and the higher the roughness, or the lower the roughness, the more or less variation there will be. And then we basically use this HN, this is our new world normal basically, for all of these. And this is our world reflection basically for all of these. And we have multiple samples, so we're averaging them out. And basically this is what allows it. It's kind of like doing screen space reflections and taking multiple samples in order to get blurred reflections, or yeah, like that. And this is how this whole thing works, which is really cool. It works really well, and you can also even control the number of samples in Substance Painter right up here. You can see here how the reflections become a bit more blurred or more sharp depending on how many samples you use. See here how it's a bit more sharper, low, it's more blurred now because again there's less samples. But yeah, it works really well, and that'd be really cool to actually properly implement. And that's how they actually get the variations in roughness for the or the blurring of the bent normals depending on the roughness. It's very cool. That's how that works. So yeah, I want to implement that. But yeah, I don't have that implemented, so the sharpness of the bent normals stay the same no matter the material, which is fine for this. A lot of it's pretty smooth, except the only thing that's like not smooth is this and like these little parts right here. Yeah, but most of it's pretty smooth, so you won't notice that. But yeah, so, right, so I put that in the shader. I use the Funny Baker to get the indirect color as well. Look at that, glorious, wonderful. Yes. I like these interesting results, always gives interesting results. But yeah, and the bent normal, I'm using the bent normal for Substance Painter. Substance Painter makes much better bent normals than what my little rinky-dinky thing can do. Yeah. But yeah, and so, let's just turn this off a little bit. It turned out really nicely. It's really good. I'm really, like, look, you could even make out the individual frills. And, like, oh my gosh, like, it even, like, hides, like, this little fresnel that technically shouldn't be here, because this normal should be facing, technically, like, into this a little bit, so you shouldn't be getting that little fresnel there. And this just kind of hides that and makes it look, oh, so much more nicer. Like, oh, it's gorgeous, it's wonderful. But anyways, we mix in our indirect color, and you got the indirect lighting, the indirect reflection, the color, the reflection of this in there, and it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at that, it's oh so faint, it's so slight, but it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful, it's great. And it's basically showing how much influence this color map has over all of it. And like, even like, look at that. Look at it, like you can very even accurately make out the reflection of the bow in here. Like, look at that. Again, it changes depending on the direction you look because it's bent normals. It's amazing. It's so cool. I love it. Like, that's why I'm making this video, to show that. Just that little detail. It's so good. And like, even adds like so much more depth to the bow as well. Like, look at this. She's very slight because the being lighter and darker here, that kind of fills in a lot of it. But it just, oh my gosh, it's so slight, but it's so perfect. And like, I don't know, like even like down here too on the feet as well, the bows. Like, it's so slight, but it's amazing. Like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Also, oh my gosh, the occlusion here is so dark. The bent normals are so strong right here. I don't like this. Like, anyways, it's just they're so close together. So, yeah. But yeah. That's why I've been wanting to make this video, because it just looks so good. The bent normals are amazing. And also, I kind of been wanting to talk about this project because it's been working on for a few years and such, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's very refined now, and it's turned out really well. And this too that I'm working on right now, That's been turning out really well. I've been really happy with this. Right. I want to do, right, so with this, I removed like a lot of unnecessary bones that don't need to be there. Like for example, like in order to get into good, like for example, all of these, like this strand and like this little loop here, I believe they used to all be their own bones. This is just one bone now. I just removed as many bones as I can. Same with the hair as well, and the ears, and very much the dress. The dress had so many bones, but again, having dresses that interact well with legs is a little bit difficult, and the more bones you have is better for that. But since I removed a bunch of bones, the interaction between the legs and the dress isn't as good anymore, but it's okay. It's a big dress and the legs don't. And they still collide, but it's not as good as it used to be, but it's okay. Again, it's a good rated, and I have to make some sacrifices. But yeah, something interesting with this that, right, I added more bones to the chest on this one, because again, I have the excuse to do more details like that. So I have the little silly bones that, I forgot what they're called. A friend told me what these are called, but that do this. I add the little funny bones to that do that. Same with down here as well. It's wonderful. It's great. I know that technically they shouldn't be like this high, but I'm pretty sure it's fine. But yeah, I added the bones here. Very slight, very slight. It's very nice. Yeah, and like, I don't know, it gives me an excuse to actually use, like, again, on the actual one, like the one with the dress, this doesn't have any of these bones. They were all removed because I don't use them. This is for the thigh side, thigh jiggle, and such. But yeah, I removed all those, and I was like, I don't use that. It's more bones. I'm right on the limit. Adding on the stopwatch was a bit difficult. I had to remove the toe bones to get the stopwatch in there because the stopwatch has a few bones for the minute hand and such. But this, I don't need to worry about that. I don't have a dress. I don't need to worry about all those fizz bones. And I don't have a pocket watch either on this. But I don't need to worry about that. So it'll do all that with all this stuff. And yeah, it turned out really nice. Go into here. I can delete this. I don't need this here anymore. And go into play mode. And we'll take a look-see. There we go. Like, let's just take a look at this one really quickly. It's like, on here, I do have a little bit. It's very minor, though. Very, very minor. Not much at all. Again, I'm really moving this quite a bit. And you can kind of almost not even notice it, like, in-game as well. Again, just very minor. It's there, but, yeah. On this one, though, I didn't overdo it, but it's definitely noticeable. Oh my gosh, I love oh, it's so beautiful. It's so, oh my god. Anyways, sorry, I love, it's so, oh my gosh, it's, okay. Anyways, with this, I was actually able to guess I do, let's just turn the gizmos off for now. And, oh, look at that. It's wonderful. I mean, I guess you could say it's wonderful, but like, it looks quite nice. I mean, I'm not trying to go for being realistic with it per se, but it looks nice. I think it looks nice. I think it's fine. And yeah, and of course all this stuff back here reacts as well. Yeah, the tail does not. I'll go into why the tail doesn't react in a little bit. But yeah, I also have it for the thighs as well. Again, it's moving it quite much. Again, whenever you test fizz bones in here, they always move much more usually than they do in the VR, because again, when you're moving stuff like this, it's very sudden. There's a lot of steps in the motion. In here, it's much smoother, so things are much less than how they usually are. But yeah, all this has that funny stuff and this funny stuff and all that. Yeah, just a little bit. It gives me an excuse to actually do that for once. So it's like, I've always wanted to do a model with things like that, where it makes sense. But again, I don't really ever work on stuff like that. I try to always tone things down as much as I can. Yeah. That's ever so slightly moving. See the reflection on the thing. This is resting on a collider, and when fizz bones rest on colliders, they don't stay perfectly still. They always ever so slightly move. See, it's vibrating a little bit right there. Yeah. Yeah. This actually does not rest on. I forgot about a thing to talk about. That thing is a really cool piece of information. Okay. So, a lot of models, when they have hair, they don't want it to clip into the head. What they do is that they have a collider in the head in order to stop that from happening. That makes sense. You want the hair to collide with the face, so it doesn't clip into the head, so it looks nicer. However, that adds in a lot of collision checks, and that makes things more unoptimized. And so, how you, it's kind of like either you have collision or you don't have a collision, or you have a clip or you don't have a clip. However, VR chat has a thing called limits, and oh my goodness gracious, limits are amazing. So, I don't have any colliders here, but what I do is that I have set the z-axis of the bone, or the roll of the bone, is all facing outwards for every single piece of strand, so each hair is facing away from it. And then what I do is that I have all the limits set up so that they all face, since all the bones are all facing the proper direction outwards, and I rotate them, or I adjust the roll of them, they all face the same direction, rotate in the same direction. And what you could do is that you could have them set to polar, and then you could have it to where you could have the pitch so they only move outwards and not inwards. So these bones will only ever move away. You could have them so they move in a little bit so they aren't super stiff. You see here, the pitch is not the exact same as the pitch down, or the pitch rotation isn't the exact same as this pitch. If you want them to not move inwards at all, just set them both to the same. If you want them to move a little bit, just make this one a little bit smaller, or this one a little bit bigger, either or. But yeah, this stops it from the hair ever clipping into the face. I mean, it still can if you don't have it quite perfect. I believe this one isn't quite perfect, just ever so slightly over here on this side and right here. But it works very, very well. I'll just show you that in a second. And so yeah, that's the way you could do that in quite a few spots actually, not just the hair, in order to not have things clip. Some things you kind of need it there, I'll show in a second, but like go to the head, and let's just turn off this, and just rotate it. Look at that! It doesn't clip. It's more like, again, it lives a little bit, ever so slightly there because I don't have it perfect, but again, it works really well. Yeah, and again, I can move the hair forward like this, doesn't clip, it works just like how you think hair would work. It's great, it's perfect. Yeah. And also you can do the same thing as well for, let's see, what's another good example? The bow. I mean, this bow does have a collider. Technically it doesn't need it, actually. Back on gizmos. Yeah, this has collision for the bow. Yeah, it does. For this, I also have collision on it as well. I didn't originally need it, but then I realized I did because when you bent over, the bow is attached to the spine and not the hip, just so weight pain looks better and such, and it looks more natural. And so I did use limits originally so the bow wouldn't clip into the rear, but since it's attached to the spine, it moves a lot more, and that wasn't really viable, so I have a collider here now. Right, I have colliders for the arms too. Right, so the interacts with that, I haven't tested that yet. I think it's always cool. Like, I think body language is a very, right, okay, cool, right. This whole model gives me an excuse to do a bunch of things I wouldn't normally do. Like, for example, I also have, like, really nice gravity set up for the chest as well. I want to tweak it a bit more. I also want to adjust the weight pain a little bit on the chest as well, a bit more. Just because, like, it's not perfect. I want to make it a little bit better. I need to touch up on it a bit more. But, let's just turn this off a little bit. Let's grab the hips, and let's just rotate this down. Actually, no, let's grab the spine, it's a little awkward. Spine, let's rotate this down. So, and when you do this, look at that. They fall together, and you get that. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. It's great. Is it entirely realistic? It depends. But again, they react. They react how they should how you think they should react. And it's wonderful. Like when I bend back like this, they spread apart. It's perfect. That's wonderful. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And yeah, it's really cool. I don't know. Again, this is giving me a lot of excuses. Like again, I only really do things if I have a good enough reason to do them. Like this I've been wanting to do for years. And I have been writing down stuff in my notebook for doing different concepts and ideas and such. But it finally all came together to where I finally can do this and like actually get to do a bunch of things that I usually don't work on, like make them a bit more promiscuous, you could say. Yes. I was gonna show. Right. Okay. Something of note here too. This has 8 Visbone components. This has one for the ears, one for the hair, one for the chest, 2 for the dress, one for the bow in the back, and one here and here. That's 8 in total. This one also has 8 as well. One for the hair, one for the ears, one for the chest, one for each ribbon here, one for the ribbon back here, and then one for each thigh and butt or rear. So the thigh and the rear both share one, because I wouldn't have enough for that. However, we have these down here. That's all 8 used up already. I can't accommodate another one without going to medium. I don't want to be in medium. I want to be in good, because that's pretty cool. So, what I did to make these kind of look like they have fizz bones is that I gave each of them that's a spine. We want this. I put a rotation. Wait a minute, where are we? I gave each one a rotation constraint. And basically, we have this little constraint right here. It doesn't move or do anything, it just exists there. Technically, I could just copy it from one of these, but yeah, whatever. And I just copy the rotation from this, only on the z-axis. So they only rotate side to side. Only side to side. Yeah, no, that's how I want to keep it. Side to side, so that, so again, I can't have fizz bones on here, but I still want them to look as if they're dynamic. So what I do is that I just have it so that they're on that, so that when the legs do move, they have a little bit of gravity to them, like that. Again, it's not perfect, but it gives the illusion. They don't actually react to movement, but yeah, they look good enough. Yeah. I really wish I could have fizz bones on this. Like, I was debating if I should remove these because I can't put fizz bones on them. But again, it kind of brings the whole outfit together, and just, yeah, I don't know, it's nice. And again, it kind of hooks it up to the original one as well. I mean, these both share the same frill up here, but then also sharing the same bows, I guess, hooks them together a bit better. Makes them feel, I guess, more, like the same person? I don't know, it just makes the design feel nicer. Very nice, I really like this. Yeah, it's turned out very well. But yeah, just grab it. Why not? Oh, uploaded. Yes. I need to make a profile picture for this. I also need to make a profile picture. I started working on a profile picture for the Pocket Watch version and stuff, and that's been very cool to work on. But I need to work on this too. But anyways, yeah. Apply. But yeah, this has been turning out exceptionally well. Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, the test version. Test version. Right. Here we go. Yeah, this has been turning out exceptionally well. It's been turning out very nice. Okay, these have a bit of gravity to them. The gravity is a bit more intense on this for some reason, even though the fizz bone studies are the exact same thing from the other one on here. I think it's because they have the angle slightly different. The gravity acts a little bit different, so I could probably just, like, I don't know, go here, take off play mode, grab the... Excuse me. And just grab the where are you? Hip, spine, tail, mana. Bow base, yeah. Just increase the gravity fall off to like 0.45, and that should do it. Yeah. But yeah, this is how it looks in VR, and I think it looks quite nice. I mean, it really depends on what the lighting is in the world you're in, because again, it doesn't use matte caps or anything, it's all using the reflection probes and such, so if your world doesn't have good lighting, then it's not going to look too good there. Right, that brings up a whole other thing to talk about. Right, okay. Right, but yeah, this has turned out really well. Like, oh, it looks wonderful. Again, yeah, like, it won't look as good as the lighting in the world looks, and here, it looks quite good. It's quite nice. I also really wish this tail had fizz bones. Like, okay, the bow and the tail used to share the same fizz bones on the main dress. However, because this is now attached to the spine and not the hip, the tail is attached to the hip, I can't have them both be parented to separate bones and have them both use fizz bones. So, I want to figure something out for that. But yeah, this has turned out really nice. It's wonderful. Like, if I squat down like this, look at this, like, oh, the occlusion there. And like here, oh my gosh, it really stretches so much. It's awful. Like, just like, oh, it's so awkward. Anyways, shoot, this isn't a very good example. But, again, yeah, here we go. You see, like, the very, oh, it's so nice. Again, it's much easier to see in Substance Painter and Unity. But it just kind of, I don't know. It's been turning out really nice, much better than I thought it was going to turn out. Like, it's just gorgeous. I love this so much. It's just come together so well. Yeah. I wish these had physics, but rest in peace, they don't. Right, okay. This one does have LT CGI support. Or it should, unless yeah, it does. There it goes. It's doing its thing. Yippee! Yeah. I wish the lighting, like, okay. LTCGI, unless I don't have, maybe they do it in the newest one, I don't know, I need to get the newest one. But the light, like, they output like a diffuse lighting, but you can't really do too much with that. It's just a color, and you can add it on top, so whatever it is, like an additive light, or just like a point light or something. And you can't really do too much, like, I have ideas I can make this more time, but you can't, it's meant to be realistic. So if you have it on like a toon model with lighting, it doesn't look that good. It works fine for reflections, but yeah, you can see here it just kind of looks a little bit, yeah. But again, I might make like my own like little fork of it that just actually will give you the, but it's a texture they're sampling and you can't, yeah, okay. But yeah, look at the reflections. It's so nice. It's wonderful. Like, yeah, it's really good. Um, yeah. Right. Okay. This is the thing I could talk about. Um, so depending on the world you're in, very much affects how good the lighting will look on it. Because again, it's using the reflection probe in the scene, not using matte caps or cube maps or anything like that that are pre-made. Because again, I like it when things match the lighting environment more, and I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool when things use PB and blend PBR and tune aspects together. I think it looks really nice when done right. Yeah. Um, yeah. All right. We're right. Okay. Here's the thing, though. Most of the time, the lighting in worlds are really good or very well done, but the reflection probes, they turned on the resolution of the reflection probes to make the file size be smaller, which is something you should definitely do. And like that's a good thing to do. You should do that. You should do that. World size is smaller. Good. Um, and yeah, however, doing that also blurs the reflection probes. They aren't as high resolution. Sometimes when people bake them, they don't bake them in HDR. And it kind of is like, it just kind of removes, I guess, some of the detail of it and make reflections look better. But if you were to have real-time reflections on a model, that would look wonderful. Like that would just solve the problem because it reacts to everything in the scene. It reacts to people being around you, the lighting as you walk around. Like it looks wonderful. It looks amazing. So if you could do that, that'd be really cool. And you kind of can. So you could use screen space reflections, change it to an avatar that uses screen space reflections. That I did. Here we go. So you could use screen space reflections. Like for example this, when it loads in. Let's go over to here. Let's pull out our camera. So you could use screen space reflections as an option to have real-time reflections. If I could show you them working. I mean, you can see it here on the back. But I want to show an example on the environment. Yeah, here we go. So you can see this right here reflecting off of this, and I move it like this. Disappears because it's screen space. I made a whole video on this. Yeah, but it's kind of outdated. It's not detailed. It's not what I like. I understand the concept of how they work, but I didn't really understand the math behind it, but now I understand the math behind it, and it's really cool. Or the algorithm behind it, whatever. But yeah, screen space reflections is an option. It's probably your cheapest and best thing. It's however it's limited to screen space. Only what you can see on your screen. Which can make it a little bit limiting. Because again, it can't capture the whole environment unless you have it visible on your screen. Yeah, but they can look very nice if done well. Like, look at that. Look how cool that is. It's very faint. If it's like was black in like colors, would like mean like more of a plasticky kind of thing, then it'd show it better. I mean, you can see the reflections here from the emission, from the tail going down here. Move out of the view. You can see it disappears right here in the tail. With the tail, yeah, very nice, very cool. So we do an approach like this, which works quite well. Works very well in some circumstances. A lot of games use screen space reflections. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I feel like it's not like okay. It's probably the best option, but it's not very good. Something else too of note is that screen space reflections, since it uses the grab pass, and since the model you're using is on the grab pass, whichever shader is calling the grab pass itself will not be rendered in that grab pass because it's already been rendered, and then it's calling the grab pass to be rendered. But since it's already been rendered, it's not going to be. No, I'm doing that wrong. The grab pass is called before the shader is being rendered. But, I'm really good at this thing. I'm really good at this. Right. But yeah, the model will not be rendered in the grab pass, and so you won't have self-reflections. This one does because I have the model duplicated on top of itself. So there's one that is not being rendered into the depth buffer, or one that's not being rendered into the grab pass, and there's one that is. There's two on top of each other, but it's only showing the one It's really weird. This is really janky. Like, if I go into like the information, social, no, it's not social, avatars, info, this thing is very poor because it has a point light on it for, oh, it's two lights. Why does it have two lights? I only have the light up. Right, the depth light. That's why. Okay. Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's the point light for the antenna, and it has a depth light for generating the depth texture. Because the depth texture isn't made automatically, so I have a directional light on here to render the depth texture. The depth texture is enabled by default unless you pull out your camera, or some worlds have it with post-processing, with ambient occlusion or directional light. Yeah. If you go into here, there's two skin to mesh renders. That's one for that body and the one for the other body. And then it has 6 material slots because it has 3. One for the screen face, I think. I think it's one's for the screen, one for the face, and then one for the body. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But yeah, you have screen space reflections, probably the best thing, but no self-reflections. But they also only reflect the things on your screen too, and you need a depth light too, or you need to have depth texture, which could be a little bit expensive. So that's not limitations. It's not the great. Or what you can do, let's go into the let's go here. Let's go here to show, because this is a pretty good example to show. So the Great Pug is a pretty well-made world. Lighting's good. It's well optimized. Yeah, it's a pretty good place. Let's load in here. Boo, boo, boo. Come on, you got this. Yeah, we're here. However, let's just go to. I think this one should have it. I think. Let's see here. Expressions, switch box, update rate. No, it doesn't have it. Okay. Yeah, it's probably. I forgot the T in there. Yeah, it's probably this one. I think. No. Props. Oh, this is okay. Yeah, Halloween. Okay, scan update rate. No, this doesn't have it. Okay. Where are you? I thought it was you. I guess it wasn't. This is it. I remember now. Yes. 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 Okay, okay. Let's go to the gold for this. So, you got your reflection probes, and they look fine. They look nice. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, again, all the things in this world are very well done. It's very nice. Yeah, it's all done proper. Except, like, okay, technically the reflection should look better if it was all real time. But reflection probes do a very good job. However, again, since they're low in resolution, so things look better. Man, this always, like, it's just like, it's like, is this a real-time light? Like, it's got that really nice specular highlight that you wouldn't really be able to achieve otherwise, so it's gotta be a real-time light. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, this place is well done. It's like if I go upstairs, for example, this is a really good example that I noticed. You know what? I'll just go right here. Why not? Let's just do it here. Night camera's gonna be messed up. Darn it. Okay, where are we? Shoot. Oh, there's a thing over here. I can't move out. Oh no. There we are. Cool. Okay. So yeah, the reflections look fine. Actually, yeah, they look pretty good here. I don't have it turned on, do I? No, I don't. Okay. But yeah, they look pretty good. This uses box reflections. Pretty hype, pretty cool, very nice. Yeah. But they could look better. And darn it, they look the same because this is a good example because this world's really well done. Darn it. Okay. I remember up here. I remember up here. I remember up here. If you're in one of the corners, it's not as good. Okay. Shoot. I want to show an example where it makes a very big difference. So, okay. Let's turn this off, and let's do this, and let's do this. So, yeah, they look fine. Yeah, now I should say they look good, that's how they are, but they could look better. And with this on, look at that. Oh, you might even notice that. Hey, look, you can see the camera reflection right there. It's so wacky. But yeah, and like as you move around to, again, box reflections do a really good job at this. But this much more accurately captures the reflections of the scene, as you can see here. Again, and if there's people around you as well, it also captures them as well. I can't really show that very well though. But yeah, oh, you know what? This is a really good example. Anything that moves is a very good example of this. I'll explain how this works in a second too. It's kind of awful how it works, but yeah. But yeah, look at that. It's gorgeous. Oh my goodness, like look how nice that is. And like without it, it still looks good. It looks fine. But it could be like this. This is just, oh, it's gorgeous. It's wonderful. Yeah. But how this works is that it has 6 cameras on it, one facing in each direction. And then they are making a cube map, and it's combining each of those camera's perspectives in the shader, and then using that for their reflections. It's awful. It looks really good. It's really laggy. It's really bad. But it looks really good. Yeah. Yeah. So that's an option that you could do for getting real-time reflections on another option where it captures everything in the scene, and it's not screen space, but it's much more laggy. But it's more, also it's not as accurate screen space reflections because it's doing it from a single point, and that's in the chest right here. It's going out. Also doesn't have self-reflections either, and yeah, which kind of stinks. Again, it's from a single point, and it's not screen space, so yeah, sad. But yeah, real time, 360, really good, but really expensive. Okay, so those are the kind of the main 2 options. I've thought about like using light volumes, or the VRC light volumes thing that's a thing now, and using that to like do some array marching within the volume to try to figure out where there is a wall, but that's not really a thing you could do because light volume is kind of, it saves the lighting data for every single point in space, and you can't do, I need to actually look, because I know how it's stored, I need to look at the actual volume texture so if you can find anything in there that might be helpful, because like I know how it works. But I need to see it. I need to see it. See it from my eyes. But yeah, it's like light probes. Like they store like the coefficients in a texture, and they sample that in the volume, and that's how you get like really nice lighting with light volume. It's really cool. Really cool. Oh, it's so good. It's so nice. The box reflection isn't lined up properly. I mean, it's probably because this has this weird jet over here, and yeah, whatever. Box reflections aren't perfect, but yeah. Yeah, so that's the 2 methods. Because like it'd be really cool to have like real-time reflections on this. Because I think it'd be a really nice avatar that would benefit from that. Since again, it has like latex and such on it, and it's a very smooth material, so I think it'd be very nice. But what I could do is that I could just have, instead of having 6 cameras, I could just have one that always faces the person by you, and so just so they'll see themselves in the reflection and such, or if they're close by, they'll see themselves in the reflection. But since it's always facing towards the person, and since most of the time you don't see the reflections behind the person, you only see the reflections in which you're facing them, the camera will pick up all those reflections, and so it'll capture most of the reflections in the scene that the person would usually see, and whichever doesn't just be replaced with a reflection probe, which is fine. Just blend between the 2, and so that's probably the way to go with it. However, using cameras on avatars, I'm pretty sure they're still a little bit kooky, to where they only show up for friends. If they're not your friend, they're just black. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's still a thing. I remember that would be a thing when I was first working on this system for this avatar. But yeah. Yeah, so that kind of limits it to only work for your friends, but usually you're in public space. I mean, it depends on like what you enjoy doing. But yeah, so that's kind of the 2 options, and I want to do one of them. Like the camera thing would work well. It'd probably work fine if it was 1 camera. That wouldn't be that bad. Just have it at a low resolution. That'd be fine, I think. But it only works for friends. That's the one downside. And it doesn't have self-reflections, which I guess is okay. I don't mind about that too much, but it'd be really cool to see the reflections of the bow and such in here, and like all that. I think that'd be really cool. Like, I mean, we had the bent normals for that. You can see that where you're like, oh, it's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's really good. What the heck? Yeah, it's so nice. Anyways, yeah. So doing a single camera or screen space reflections could work well, but again, they only see what's on your screen, and so you wouldn't notice them too much. Like they'd be there, like they might be good for photos, but yeah, like it could be like, I might do screen space reflections. That'd probably be the easiest thing to do, and it'll look nice. I have a toggle for that. And again, if we need depth light too, it's kind of annoying. Um, yeah, it makes it poor immediately. Some worlds already have depth light, so that's good. It's kind of like situational, so it'd work, and it'll work with cameras, so yeah, I gotta figure that out. I'd also think of doing a system where basically, so a bent normal stores the ambient direction of the light, like the ambient direction of the light. It works very well. However, again, this is pretty good. Um, but depending on the direction you're looking, the reflection color will change. And like this texture accounts for some of that. Like it'll average the lighting out in a radius. You can see the reflection of the bow, of the little tail right here, and then the bow, and the little white frills. Anyways, just a little cool thing. Just looking at this, like, oh, I know what's being reflected there and such. Um, but yeah, shoot, I forgot what I was saying. Darn it. Um, I don't remember. Um, yeah, I remember screen space reflections, but anyways, yeah. That's this. This is what I've been working on the past week now, I think. Just kind of, yeah. But yeah, this has been turning out exceptionally well. It's been turning out, like, again, that's why I'm making this video, and it's 2 hours now of me rambling about nonsensical things. Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of show this off and like how oh my gosh, I love it's so perfect. It's amazing. Like oh, you can't get like unless it's like you have screen space reflections. You can't get better than this, or it's like ray trace. But like, okay, ray tracing is cool. What I think is really cool when people think of creative solutions in order to mimic ray tracing. Like, there's a lot of creative solutions that go into getting ray tracing to work in real time. I think that stuff is also really cool, but also trying to like screen space reflections. Screen space reflections is a very interesting technique that's very cheap for mimicking ray tracing or reflections. It's really cool. I don't know, I think graphics programming is really cool as, again, there's a lot of interesting things that you can do to try to mimic things in real life, but as efficiently as possible and as close as you can. Like bent normals, again, it's a directional occlusion, which can make reflections look even better, but it's kind of really expensive because you have a whole other texture you have to store specifically for that. So it's kind of like, eh, it's not really ever used because it's really expensive memory-wise. Yeah, yeah, bent normals kind of make zero sense to use outside of like VR chat, because VR chat is a forward rendering. It's not deferred. You can still do like screen space reflections in a forward renderer that's more difficult. Um, but yeah, these make no sense to actually use in actual applications other than this when you want to be like really fancy. But even then, nobody's gonna notice it. It's such a small thing. There's no good reason to do this unless you're like really, really love the small details and things. Again, that's why I'm making this video because I love this. It's so nice. It's perfect. Oh my gosh. Um, right. Also gotta tone down these creases here. I thought I already did, but I guess I forgot to. But yeah, this is too much there. Um, yeah, maybe I can just remove that. But yeah, that is this. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed me rambling about this this model for a long while, and then eventually this, which is why I originally made this video. Um, yeah, that is this. I could have gone into more detail about certain things, but I don't want this to be like 4 hours long or 3 hours long. I just end this here. But yeah, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. And yeah, that's that. Thank you very much for watching and have a lovely rest of your day. Goodbye.